Fans, we're back once again with another jam-packed edition. Literally so much to talk about today of Ringside Riffs with the Kingpin and the Gentleman. My name is Jack Kilby, no gimmicks guy on the socials. And of course, my broadcast colleague, the man who comes from the streets. In fact, he is the king of the streets, and just days away, a certain individual by the name of Indigenous Pat Sawyer is going to find out what it means to tangle with an ECW original, a man who has defeated so many hardcore legends and is on his last great run of 2026. You all know who I'm talking about, the Kingpin, Angel Medina. How are you, sir?
Doing good, my friend. Doing good, man. You know, that Tom Sawyer dude, this guy, it's just funny because, I never heard of the guy. He comes in with this, I was watching some promos and he's coming to the ring with this like Leatherface gimmick and stuff, like makes him a badass. But when I get in the ring with him and scalp him, that's going to be a trip, but like I said, I got nothing but disdain for this guy because he thinks he's something special, and which I don't see, but we're going to see what happens on the 21st, once I put my foot in his ass.
Well, I'll tell you, he is a legit giant. He is a big, big man. He is extremely athletic, extremely flexible. He's going to give yourself
flexible.
Yeah, if you've seen his athleticism,
good. I'll be stretching his ass.
There you go.
I'll be stretching him.
Serve that right up to you. He's going to give yourself an HC Loke. To be fair, it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a war. It's going to be extreme, if you will, coming up Saturday, the 21st in beautiful Ithaca, New York at the Hangar Theater. I'm going to be in the corner there. Now, I got to ask you something. We don't know who Pat's tag team partner is going to be yet, but if you had to speculate, does that do any names come to the forefront? I know you commented about one of the members of his, I guess, his crew that HC Loke talked about in the promo that he cut on the situation immediately following Frozen Fight Night. You've got a lot of numbers there. Even with myself around at ringside, we got to be looking eyes in the back of the head on a swivel. Who do you think Mr. Sawyer is going to get to be his tag team partner?
Bro, I really don't know. I mean, he doesn't have anybody to come in his corner. I mean, he's never been anywhere, so he doesn't have any stroke with anybody with AEW, WWE, so I really don't care. I think he's going to try to get somebody from the reservation. Ain't he from the Sakakak tribe? So I mean, the Sakakak tribe is a very indigenous group in that area. So, if he wants to bring somebody to suck a cock, and wrestle the Kingpin, bring him, man, bring that tribe of suck a cock,
I think you, I know you're not taking them lightly, and this is part of your.
Fuck yeah, I'm taking them lightly. This is my last run. All of them are pieces of shit. The Kingpin is going to just run I'm going to run over him, brother. Hulkamania.
Well, I think you should be aware that, it's going to be a numbers game. He's a very capable competitor, and whoever he chooses, no disrespect to yourself or HC Loke, but he is going to come prepared. Have you talked to Loke about strategy? Not that you're going to give it away or anything like that at this point in time, but how do you think you guys are going to handle this? They've already got the advantage because you're not going to know who the opponent is.
Well, I mean, no. I mean, look, we haven't talked yet. I mean, once we get to the show, we'll sit down and caucus. But the thing is this, man. Look, I don't sleep on nobody. But if you think I'm going to come to the show or come on my show and go, well, he is an formidable opponent. He is somebody I have to just be careful. Yeah, I have to be careful with everybody, but I'm confident in my abilities. I've been in this business for many years, and I wrestled many guys. Like I told you, I buried a lot of people. I fought a lot of people. So the thing is that, like I said, I don't sleep on him, but I know for sure that he ain't not going to get a win on me. Maybe Loke. Just kidding. But no, but like I said, man, I don't sleep on nobody. But like I said, I'm not gonna sit here and go pretend like it's gonna be a challenge, like because I faced them all, man. I've been to the mountaintop. I've been to, in the ring with individuals that put the beating on me, from Kamala to Mike Awesome. So you really think that somebody who has never been across the Atlantic or wrestled high quality matches with other opponents, do you think I'm gonna really like, oh wow, man, this guy is my opponent that is going to just take me to the hill? Look at Big Daddy Oreo. I put that fat bastard down. You know what I'm saying? I unscrewed the cap, took out the cream, and just left the cookie. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I don't sleep on nobody, but I have a lot of confidence in myself. I retired more men than Social Security. Put it that way.
Well, yes, and nobody's going to take away your credentials, but I'll tell you, if push comes to shove, I think it's going to be a war, and personally, I'm prepared in case there are more numbers to come to take care of business too. But fans, what we're talking about is the huge show, March 21st. Flex Wrestling goes on the road to the beautiful Hangar Theater in Ithaca, New York. You see Carlito. I've had contact with him in the past couple of weeks. He's looking forward to coming in and meeting all the great Flex Wrestling fans. Carlito's going to be there, and there's a big match in addition to the tag match we're talking about, and that is for the newly minted Mud Creek Stampede Scramble Champion title, won by the very tough Maddock. He'll be defending that title, and so much more. So go to flexwrestling.com because seating is limited, and I know they have gone very, very fast. And Kingpin, are you looking forward to meeting your fans? You're a very popular guy there. You're going to be there to sign your 8x10s, including this commemorative limited edition last great run 8x10 with that great photo of yourself. Are you looking forward to meeting all your fans again? Because I'll tell you, you seem to really have a lot in the Finger Lakes, Ithaca, New York area.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love the fans. They're great. I mean, I have a great time when I'm there. I mean, I look forward to talking to them, taking pictures. Like I said, this is my last run, so you got to come in and get your pictures with me because you don't know where I'm going to be after my retirement. But you know what I'm excited the most is I have this friend who really goes all out for me. I mean, last time it was kind of like, disappointing because I was supposed to get 2 burgers, but I only got 1. But I'm looking forward for that double quality, maybe a triple, because I get that replacement burger plus 2 more. So I'm pretty excited.
You touched on a great point. I was at Frozen Fight Night on February the 28th, and I had 2 bison burgers right in a row, one the night before and then the night of the show. And I put them by your neck. And what?
Nothing. This is a great drink.
What are you drinking here? Is this a sponsor?
No, it's just a hydration drink. I'm just having a good time. I'm excited because next week's the show. I'm cracking a lot of jokes. So I'm just feeling good, bro.
You'll get your bison burger for sure, and I will have another one. And I'm telling you, Flex Wrestling, there's a reason why everyone is talking about it. We're going to talk about the main topic today. This was sent in by a fan, and I see some very astute fans are already commenting about talents that were overlooked or perhaps overlooked for a run with the original ECW World Heavyweight title. Got a bunch of questions or comments stacked up. We'll get to those for sure. This is a topic that certainly I'm kind of surprised we never talked about it before, but we're going to do it justice today. But before we get into that, do you want to talk about the incident that everybody seems to be talking about today? Came out yesterday about an unfortunate situation in Ohio Valley Wrestling involving a referee. Why don't you set the table for the fans and give your perspective on that situation?
No, absolutely, man. I mean, I just recently watched that OVW match and with the referee that got knocked out and caught a seizure in the ring. So, I mean, that's kind of sad because, in this business, you got to protect your referees, the valets, and your fellow wrestlers. And again, I don't know those guys from shit to Shinola. I'm not knocking them, but they should have showed more concern in regards to this individual in the ring. The point is that when I watched it, they were just more focused on getting their match finished. And the thing is that, yeah, I mean, you could still do a spot, kick the guy out, and then call for emergency assistance. But it was just something like they were just more focused on their glory and not concerned about the referee that was in the ring. Does Tommy still own OVW still?
Do you mean Al Snow?
Yeah.
I think Al Snow is still associated with it. He's unfortunately
Tommy Dreamer. I'm sorry.
An ECW original again, but I think he's been getting some flack on. I just saw some this morning for what happened there. But I wanted to ask you, being a guy who saw all kinds of dangerous situations in the ring in the original ECW, did you ever have a situation where a referee, not that this was the same in terms of a seizure, a medical incident, but where a referee got hurt? And how did you process that? If they're down, what do you do? What's the usual modus operandi there that didn't happen in OVW?
No, I mean, I could definitely address that. But before we go any further, I definitely want to bring up the Al Snow thing. You can't blame Al because you don't know what was transpiring in the back of the ring, because he could be doing a lot of stuff like doing matches, talking to people. And when that transpired, there's a possibility he wasn't aware until at the last minute. So a lot of people who's giving him slack, you don't know what was going on behind the curtain. So you have to give him a little bit of grace. Al's a great guy. He does care about a lot of people, and he cares about the fans, and he cares about the wrestlers. So you just give him a little time to try to bring up his side of the story, because again, you do not know shit. He could have left the building to go to his car to get something out of the back seat and then find out after the fact while things were transpiring and he was trying to resolve the issue. But anyway, to your question, yeah, absolutely, bro. I mean, look, the New Jack incident with Vic Grimes falling off the scaffold, Taz getting his leg cut, sliced open when he was doing a tables match. I forgot who he was wrestling, but he cut his leg open real bad and showed the bone. So I mean, yeah, I seen things, and you can tell when it's guys are trying to take it home to finish it where you can continue to wrestle. But when you're out, C.W. Anderson getting leg dropped by Two Cold Scorpio and getting knocked the fuck out, and he got like a concussion out of the deal, but he was out, but they stopped the match, so yeah, I've seen a lot of crazy stuff. But again, a lot of individuals will stop the match. I mean, look at the other situation with I don't want to say X-Pac. What was his name?
1-2-3 Kid?
No. It was the time when either it was Evan Bourne or the other aerial guy, where he twisted his ankle real bad, and Jericho was yelling at the referee to stop the match. And
Neville.
Neville, thank you. So he rolled his ankle, and see, like I said, you could still work and be the heel and still make it validate the situation. But again, he tried to stop. He stopped the match. He said he was hurt, and he pushing the ref. So see, these pros are able to see what's going on and trying to resolve the issue immediately, to get that taken care of.
What do you think could be done in the future with respect to say it isn't a bump per se, but another medical incident involving a ref? How do you think that could be avoided? Is the onus entirely on the workers in the ring, or would that be the spot for an agent or somebody in gorilla position, whatever you want to call it, to see that the guy's down? He was obviously in medical distress, and intervene and stop the match. How do you think we can avoid this happening again?
Well, everybody's involved, but the main people on the front line is the pro wrestlers. They're the ones that have the eye on the ball from ground zero. So but like I said, everybody from the commentators to the people that are watching through the curtain, from the ring crew. Everybody has involvement to make sure that everybody's safe. So because again, maybe somebody doesn't see something and the other individual does. You have to, you got to step to the plate and just, call it for what it is. You got to protect the other athletes, regardless, the referees, the commentators. We protect everybody, and we got to do that. But these guys nowadays are only concerned about getting themselves over, which again, I'm not knocking them. It's just, damn, dude, the guy got knocked out. Did you see the guy is literally shaking, and the guy pulled him by his pants and then literally kicked him,
Yeah.
picked him to get out the way. And again, dude, he was having a seizure. He was not working. The guy is not a worker as far as I can tell. I mean, I could be wrong, but again, you could just tell the difference. And I think that's something that should have been addressed. Like I say, he should have not just tried to put himself over by trying to finish the match.
Well, certainly there was a lot of outrage. There is a lot of outrage online, and hopefully that does result in some significant change. Shout out to the legendary Bill Hazelwood, who's watching. Great guy. Hope you're doing well. I guess when we talk about the main topic, it's important to stress that we're talking about the original ECW 92 to 2001, and athletes, wrestlers that were prominent in terms of the brand, the hardcore identity, but overlooked, perhaps. Again, we'll get your assessment on that because, man, you're more than qualified. They never held the title, but they helped build the cult following through their dedication, their extreme vision, and yet they were never booked for that spot. And there's quite an argument to be made when you look at all the ECW champions that it was a very, very tight sort of group in terms of who were selected to carry the title, and maybe some glaring oversights that we'll talk about. But first, Bill is saying, sadly today, guys aren't working enough to recognize what's going on. If they are working every weekend, they still only work 50 to 70 times a year. That's a very good point, Bill. In terms of, I guess, the first name that a lot of people are surprised to realize that he never held the world title is, as Acer says, Rob Van Dam. Amazingly popular guy. He was the TV champion for what, 23 plus months, a staple of the company, tag team champion, Mr. Pay-Per-View, but never got that world title run in the original ECW. I had the pleasure of interviewing Rob a couple of years back, and I asked him flat out, was it your intention to make the ECW TV title on a par with the world title? And he said, no, actually it was to make it more prestigious than the world title. And I think he probably succeeded in that. But what's your insight on why Rob never held that title, not counting the WWE ECW?
Well, you already answered your own question because, again, Paul wanted to make that title, the TV title, more prestigious than the heavyweight title. So he was just trying to give Rob Van Dam that big-ass run. Eventually, he would have got the title if ECW would have continued, but you got to look at it from the genius standpoint. You remember back in the days, think about it, when Arn Anderson held the TV title, that was pretty hot. He was wrestling every damn weekend, and it was outshining the actual title. The actual title. So I just think they were just trying to do that, something similar, to try to give it that more same thing with the Intercontinental title back in the days with the Honky Tonk Man and all that stuff. It was just trying to give it more not everything has to be about the heavyweight title. You know what I mean? Like, they just wanted to make it like all across the board, like every title was validated. Every title was like had some meaning. And if you don't give it that meaning, then they're like, oh, just got the TV title. It's garbage, So I think that's what they were trying to do, really, really push it hard. So it's not like he was not going to get it. I'm not saying he was. It's just I think he was just being molded to get to that level.
And in so doing, there's a case of no disrespect to the talents that held the ECW TV championship. Most of all, a man we're gonna talk about here on the list as well, but it's a case of a wrestler making a title almost. And then when he transitioned, if ECW had stayed into business, to the heavyweight title, you would have had, quite a draw there as well. Here's a fan putting a guy in that I completely forgot about, but definitely agree. Johnny 5985 is saying 2 Gold Scorpio.
Yeah, hell of a talent. 2 Gold Scorpio. I mean, when he was winning titles left and right, like I said, hell of a talent. I mean, but like I said, there's only so much TV time, I mean, if they went through all the people that were supposed to get like some type of title, man, the title would have been exchanging hands every damn fucking 30 days or some crazy number like that. So, I mean, I think everybody was going to get their run eventually if they didn't jump ship or if they went to another company. But I think they would have, Too Cold would have got his opportunity to get like the heavyweight title or fight for it or do angles with it. Even though if he didn't win it, he would have got an opportunity to go, wrestle somebody for it.
What do you think about, and I've had recent communication with Too Cold. We're hopefully going to have him on this show this coming year. I know he's a very busy man. He's working a lot. But what do you think about people that said, Too Cold's downfall that wouldn't make him world champion material was a lack of promo skills?
I'm thinking.
I can smell the smoke.
No, it's just I'm laughing because I mean he has promo skills. I mean, but the thing that was really funny is when they did that segment vignette where he was like dancing in the street, Too Cold,
WCW one.
Yeah, and it was like drugs are bad. They did that with Rikishi one time when it was just garbage. I mean, I understand they're trying to get people off drugs and stuff, but when I watch those things, I laugh. And I think if they needed to give him an opportunity, man. I mean, you can't. I'm not saying he doesn't have promo skills, but you get better the more you do it, And I think he was fine, man. I don't see like any bad like promos that he done. I mean, I just think that's a cop out. Oh, his promo skills are not that. You don't know that. You never gave him the opportunity. Come on, Mikey Whipwreck. I'm not knocking Mikey, but Mikey wasn't the greatest promo guy. I wasn't the greatest promo guy, but then once I started cutting them and continuing and getting, sharpening my teeth with it, I was getting better and better and better every time I got the mic. So you got to give the person the opportunity.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I heard you're good with the mic.
No, that's a word. Some people would put over my mic skills more than my kicks and stomps, but we won't talk about it. Next guy is someone you already mentioned who was incredibly over and had some great matches with the franchise. How about Al Snow with that awesome head gimmick that was a cult sensation in '97? He main evented against Shane on a pay-per-view for the world title, but never ever captured it. That is a guy that I think for younger fans that never saw that, go back and check out that run that he had in '97. He was incredibly over, and man, that guy could have easily carried the belt, I thought, in terms of mic skills, promos, character, and let's not forget his work was pretty good too. What are your thoughts on Al being left out of that equation?
Well, I mean, like I said, everybody that's on this list is a hell of a talent, and they have a lot of things to offer in this business at the time. And again, Al was a hell of an athlete. And like I said, he didn't give it the opportunity in WWE or WWF or whatever, and when he was playing Leaf Cassidy and stuff like that. But when he started doing the head gimmick in WWE, ECW, apologize. Then all of a sudden they see like, oh man, look at the talent this guy has. They just never gave him the ball. But the thing is this, man, Al Snow, I could see him as heavyweight champion. So again, all these guys that are on the list, I'm not going to even talk negative about them because they have a lot to give as a heavyweight champion. Should they have gotten the title more than Mike Awesome? I think so, because Mike wasn't that great on the mic. He was just big and a big athletic guy, but his mic skills weren't great because that's why they put him with Jeff Jones to do a little bit of the, I see him more like a Dino Bravo, the promos Dino Bravo used to cut. They were not fabulous, but then you had Jimmy Hart cutting the promos from him.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll ask you or posit to you what some of the conventional wisdom are if there's weaknesses. Again, don't see any in Al. Next guy was also incredibly over, a man that we've had on the show this year, pretty much the full package, man, in terms of promos, look. No, not Lex Luger. Promos, look, in-ring work, and man, did he ever have the ECW faithful behind him at one time?
You.
And that,
thank you.
No, not you this time.
Oh.
Pitbull Gary Wolf, man, he should have had a run. He was an ECW TV champion. He proved that he could carry a singles title, not just in the tag team ranks. I mean, both of the Pitbulls were incredibly talented and over, but Gary, man, that's an interesting one. Why we never got the call.
Yeah, but like I said, you have so many people on the list that it's hard to have any negative things to say about him. Like I said, Gary is a hell of an athlete. Gary had the crowd, he had the sympathy, he had the energy. Now, if you wanted to put it like, oh, do you think, if you put his tag team partner compared to Gary, I think Gary was way better in that aspect. Promo wise, crowd gravitated to him more. Again, I'm not knocking his partner. It's just I just saw it. It was just. Not. I mean, a perfect example. Look at me and DeVito, man. I mean, DeVito was in my shadow ever since the Baldies and stuff, and the only reason he was popular is because he was hanging with me, But once he left the hotel room, people didn't know who he was, and people didn't understand what he was doing with the company. But once he stood in my light, and he was like, "Oh shit," the Baldies, and he was riding that fucking wave like a fucking. He was like fucking Patrick Swayze at the end of Point Break, that big ass fucking wave. But once I walked away, he crashed.
History keeps repeating itself, doesn't it, Kingpin? That's kind of like you and I. I'm privileged to be in your eminence, your life.
Well, no, absolutely. I mean, that's the reason why I'm retiring, because my back is deteriorating from all carrying all that weight from all the tag team partners I had, But anyway, back to Gary Wolf. Like I said, hell of an athlete. He should have got a run, or I said an angle. And like I said, he was doing stuff with a franchise, and it was just on fire.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. But definitely when you step back and as you keep indicating, you look at this roster of names that we're going down now, man, there's so many that could have had a run with the heavyweight title. Maybe a couple that are questionable. I'll throw one at you now that you might have strong-ish feelings about, that a fan sent in. Big 911 fan. The massive, intimidating, dominant force in the early ECW with his choke slam. Never won any titles. Could he not have had a short kind of transitional run? What are your thoughts on Big Al?
No, man, he had that Diesel look, and he was first, I think, right? Was he first with that outfit, or was it a Big Daddy Cool?
I think it was Big Al that had it first. Perhaps.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, he was sometimes as big guys, and all they had was the choke slam. I see more power in me choking on my own dick, with the grip. But like I said, I don't think he was that talented. I don't give two shits. I mean, I seen the matches, I seen the videos. He was just a bodyguard. He was just, he didn't have any athleticism. All he had was his size and his choke slam. If they would have given him the heavyweight title, it would have been a short run. It would have just been one of those like flukes, somebody came to the ring and interfered and he just chokes them and won the title like that. But I don't see him doing anything spectacular. So yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, he was the drizzling shits.
Well, I think he was definitely for what his spot was and what his role was. Very entertaining, very over guy.
You should run for prime minister, because your political views are just very, even when it's negative, it's like, oh, the people, he is expiring. Yeah, he's the shits. He was the drizzling shits.
I don't know what to say. I don't agree with that, but I'm Canadian. Maybe it's in my nature.
You're too nice.
To be political. But anyway, here's a guy that a fan just sent to, Lance Storm. Man, world-class technician. He was 3 years in ECW, had the tag titles many times with actually 3 times with PJ there, just incredible. Man, never got an opportunity to carry the world title. I know you were in the company when Lance was there. A lot of people called him too boring, too, I guess, lacking, too serious. And then, of course, he turned that into quite an interesting character twist. Not dancing Lance Storm in WWE, but when he was doing the "If I Could be serious for a minute. I thought that was quite entertaining. What do you see about the possibilities of Lance getting the call?
Wow, man, that's a really if I could be serious for a minute.
You're never serious.
You know, he, like I said, his talent was astronomical. He was a great athlete, but yeah, he was dry than toast, when it comes to promos. And that's what they were, I mean, if you couldn't beat him, join him. So they used this dryness, to make it funny, can I be serious for a minute? Like I said, he could have had the run, but sometimes sometimes you could be the most suckiest wrestler, but have the most charismatic, promos, and people just gravitate to you. And I mean, look at for example, like, and I'm not making fun of him, but like Dusty Rhodes, he didn't have, he was the common man. He wasn't muscular, he wasn't pretty, he wasn't, but he could talk, man. He could talk, and people.
He was a physical disaster. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he even said it, man, but he worked it, man, and people just gravitated because he was the common man, he was the working man, he was the American dream daddy, and that's the thing. And so he didn't have the physical attributes of a bodybuilder, but he had the verbal skills, man, and people just loved him, and that's why he was getting those great runs and those heavyweight title opportunities, and man, took it to the moon. And, I love Dusty. He was a great guy, and he always gave me great advice, and even when he talked, man, I was mesmerized by his knowledge.
Yeah, Dusty certainly had the charismatic factor off the charts. He was a real phenomenon, especially in the American South. My one of my favorite angles of all time was when the Four Horsemen attacked him in the Turner Studios parking lot.
Broke his arm
and broke his wrist. I thought that was that just came up.
Yeah, make it count.
Yeah,
what even came out again? Somebody tried to use the angle.
No, it's just resurfaced again. It was an anniversary of the angle, and Arn commented on it. But he certainly was the ultimate underdog, and bled like a stuck pig, and a great foil for Ric Flair at the time. But moving back to ECW, here's a guy that often the knock on this guy was he was too small. He was a former NWA World Heavyweight Champion, though, at a time when the NWA was on its ass, so to speak. Great look. I thought he cut really amazing promos. Excellent in-ring work. I thought the guy had it all. One of my favorites. My name, No Gimmicks Guy, is a tribute to this man, Chris Candido.
I mean, I don't think his stature had anything to do with it, man. The guy was a physical specimen. I mean, me and him didn't really talk much. Nah, I don't. I mean, that's your opinion, and maybe you heard it from somebody. But I don't.
Mine. That's the knock on him.
Shit, he was the same height as Taz.
Another smaller guy, yeah. In terms of height.
So explain to me how his height has anything to do with it if they gave it to Taz. And Taz was an inch taller than him. I think they were the same height. Because even Candido came out the ring and came out the curtain dressed as Taz with the towel on his head, and people thought it was Taz for a second until he took off the towel. So I just don't think it was his height, because if they would have gave the title to Taz, why not Candido? So, and again, I'm not friends with Candido. We were like really close and talked a lot, but he was hell of a talent, great physical specimen. So I just don't see why wouldn't I give him the title. So I don't think height was a factor.
That's anyway what the conventional wisdom is. I agree with you, and I find it funny.
Yeah, but you didn't think about Taz, right? You were just like, oh yeah, fair to say, but that Taz was short, bro. Taz was so short that if he jumped off the curb, he would have died. If he would have spit, he would have drowned.
Oh my! I think it's funny though when we look at these guys in hindsight, and especially today with some of the wrestlers on a national level that are nowhere near the physique and the build and the look of a Chris Candido, that times were so different. I think if he was active today, he'd definitely be a world champion somewhere. He had all
I think he would have got his run in TNA. I think if things would have not went the way it did, I think I could have seen him with the heavyweight title in TNA.
Yeah,
and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to Johnny Candido, a guy that we've had on the network several times. Great guy as well. Next one is kind of interesting. I'm not sure if I agree with this at all, but definitely a fan of his work. Got to see him up close and personal, hang out with him in London, Ontario, before he died. And that's the chair swinging, beer drinking, hardcore freak, a man that you know very well, Balls Mahoney. He seemed to be, a real presence in the original ECW, part of the heart and soul of the company, brought the attitude there, but never got a world title call. What are your thoughts on Balls?
I love Balls, man. He was a character. And again, he had the fans in the palm of his hand, especially with that song. So I can't say anything negative about him in regards to like why he shouldn't have gotten an opportunity. Same with Axel. Those two individuals should have gotten an opportunity to run with the title. And especially with Axel. Axel had great promo skills. I mean,
he's on the list too. Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you brought him up. A lot of people talk about him. The late great Axel Rotten.
So let's put them side by side since they were tag team partners. So yeah, Balls and Axel, they definitely should have got the run. Like I said, Axel had the verbal skills. Axel was able to talk way better than Balls. But Balls was, like I said, he, again, had the attention of the fans. So I could see more Axel getting the title run than Balls, but I could still see Balls getting one. You know what I mean? Like if it was a pecking order, like if I was like the promoter, let's say if it was between Axel and Balls, I would have went with Axel because of his mic skill. Balls was not good verbally, but athletic wise, great. But Axel was athletic wise.
Oh, I think you froze there. A little bit frozen. Hopefully, you're back.
I'm back. Sorry. Yeah. So Axel had the athletic skills. If that's where I lost you at, you know, he had the verbal skills and athletic skills. I don't know what the fuck is up. I got to get more megabytes on my computer. I don't have Jack Kilby money. You know, I don't go around the world buying top-notch computer systems. You know, I mean, I'm holding this shit together with gum and toothpaste and shit like that. So just letting you know why it gets cut off. I think I need more megabytes or more RAM or whatever you guys call it.
All good. The one thing about Balls that I think some fans know, some don't, but he was actually a very good like collegiate Olympic style wrestler. He had a varied arsenal, but he found his niche in that hardcore thing. And I'm thinking back to, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, you know what was so popular about Balls? Oh man, I'm trying to remember. Way back then, there was this girl I knew, real pretty, real smart, you know, but she really had a big crush on Balls Mahoney, man. I mean, she was always chasing after him. Italian girl, I can't remember her name. But anyway, but she was a huge fan of Balls Mahoney, had t-shirts. She made special boxers with his face on it and stuff like that. I mean, like I said, that's how popular he was. I mean, fans gravitated to this man. So I'm just wanting to bring up, I mean, I'm not knocking his mic skills. It's just that, but he had people's attention.
Yeah, I would say in that first hardcore road trip show in London, Ontario, what was that, 2013? He had an incredible match against a local hardcore guy named Warhead, and man, the crowd were he didn't lose any bit of his charisma or ability to interact with the crowd. Next guy is one that was in the title picture, so to speak, in the hunt, getting a big push, but they never pulled the trigger on him. Always seemed to be in the mix for the big angles. Never won the big one. And I know you know him well. I'm talking about Stevie Richards.
Oh shit, man, Stevie! I love Stevie. You know, again, you bring him in. I mean, I know you're throwing a little curves in there, but there's a lot of individuals that deserve it, and Stevie's one of them. Like I said, I love Stevie to death, man. The guy was talent. I mean, still is. I don't want to say was. He still is talented, and he's a creative genius. And I'm not putting him over because I'm his friend. I'm just putting him over because the guy doesn't done a lot in this industry, and he does things on the side that people just they're aware of, but like they're not understanding. Like he has his own channel, he has his own fitness channel. He has, I mean, he dips his toes in a lot of things, and that man should have got. Like I said in the pay-per-view where he wrestled Terry Funk at man, that's when my CTE kicks in at the say the pay-per-view for me, please.
Guilty as charged.
Thank you. Yeah, the very first one when he wrestled in the ladder match and he wanted his respect and he looked in the mirror and stuff. I mean, it was the most passionate promo out there, and he wanted to be taken serious and get away from the BWO, even though that's popular. He wanted people to take him serious, and that just took him to the top of the mountaintop in regards to his mic skills. So yeah, definitely he should have got a title shot. He should have held the belt.
Here's a name that a couple of fans submitted, and Johnny5985 is saying Jerry Lynn, but Jerry Lynn, did he not have a reign or two? I thought he didn't either, but then I found conflicting information that he did.
I can't remember. I can't remember. I mean, like I said, like sometimes it's all about the mic skills, man, and it's just so hard because I'm not trying to knock him because he's a good friend too, and he's hell of a guy, and watching his matches with like five stars, but I don't know why he didn't get the run. I mean, they tried to give it to him when he was a new effing show. And, I was in the ring when we did the thing with Cyrus and stuff, and they were really, really pushing him. So maybe they were cultivating him to be the next heavyweight champion, But again, the company folded before he got that opportunity. So again, I don't know, But I would love to have him because, like I say, he's a great guy and he deserves it for all the shit he's done in his business and what he's still doing right now for the wrestlers. So yeah, I mean, fuck yeah, he should get the guy to title, but I don't know why he didn't.
Have to clarify that later. Next is a name that a lot of people submitted. We talk about the Ultimate Underdog who helped popularize the Dudley name, the little engine that could, so to speak. Maybe this was a case again of size holding him back, but man, some of those matches that this man had with Mike Awesome, some of the greatest in ECW history, in my opinion. I'm talking about Spike Dudley.
Well, the problem is that it's just so hard to agree with you on these type of like size situations, because then when you look at the Mikey Whipwreck, the underdog story, and then he won the title because he was the underdog. So if they gave it to Mikey, why not give it to Spike? So that's the only thing that I can't agree with, even if I wanted to. When you get those individuals, like I said, when you throw in the Taz situation, like okay, you got a point there. When you throw in the Mikey Whipwreck, you're like, shit, well, that kills my fucking my theory. So it's just hard. So it's just the timing, man. It's all about timing. And like I said, since the company folded, I mean, there could have been so many variables for them to get an opportunity to hold the strap, the TV title, the tag title. I mean, I was supposed to hold the tag title. That was the story after Roadkill and Danny Doran. Why did but the company folded, so it was in the cards, and we were supposed to lose it to the new. And you see the promo, the new Impact players, Steve Corino and Justin Incredible. Because remember, at the end of that pay-per-view, the Baldies were fighting Justin Incredible and Corino to the back into the locker room. So yeah, that story was going to build up for us to win the titles, and then they were going to win the titles off of us. So again, it was timing.
What could have been, for sure. Next, a guy that he held the TV title, had some great matches with our mutual friend Little Guido, who just had a birthday. So happy birthday to you, sir, if you're watching. Belated birthday. He had a couple of world title shots, but came up short. And what a career he had in WWE after ECW went out of business and is still active to this day on a regular basis in Japan. He's the Japanese buzzsaw Tajiri.
Ooh. Nah, Tajiri's good, dude. I don't know, man. That's a hard thing. Is because he didn't really speak English that well that they didn't want to give him the title, but they could have gave him some type of Steven Regal manager to talk for him. And it's kind of again hard to say because you got like the Great Muta, and you guys got like oh my god, dude, what the hell is? I mean, I'm telling you, this CTE is kicking my ass. What was before Great Muta? The Great Kabuki?
Yeah, Great Kabuki. Yeah, with Gary Hart.
Yeah,
in Texas, you mean? Yeah.
So I'm just trying to think of the Asian mystical guys. Hakushi
was early mid '90s WWF. With,
but he didn't speak English. He didn't speak English too.
But neither did his manager.
Hell of an athlete, So again, because they didn't speak, that they didn't get the title, But I think Muta won the TV title, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Yeah.
So, but again, he had somebody to talk for him. So again, I don't know. That's really hard because Tajiri is a hell of an athlete. I love Tajiri, great guy. Oh, Angel Son spoke hell better Spanish than me.
Wow.
Because he's wrestled in Mexico all the time, so he spoke a hell of Spanish, and so it's just hard to like. Sometimes when you put somebody, as your manager, sometimes that really brings it out. Like, it's like a compliment. It's kind of like taking it up a notch. I don't know. That's just how I see it. Maybe if they would have put him with the right person, because think about it. If he was with a Regal type of character, make it a little bit comedic, like they were doing, and won the title, and then Regal was doing all the talking and stuff, I think it would have went over big time. It's all about placement, man. Presentation.
What do you since you mentioned the Great Muta, we'll just have a brief detour. One of, in my opinion, the biggest underrated managers of all time is Playboy Gary Hart. Were you a fan of his style? He really stood out in terms of a real, and he was a legit menacing guy, always went around with a knife. Loved his promos, the way that he told it like it was. I found him extremely entertaining. I don't think he's in the Hall of Fame now. He never worked in WWE to the best of my knowledge, but man, I think
doesn't matter.
He belongs. He has a spot there.
Yeah, he has a spot there. Yeah, I like Gary Hart, but remember that back in the days, I was like, when I watched wrestlings, I watched WWF at the time just to watch wrestling, and then I watched World Class Wrestling because it was so serious and so real, in my world, it was like a real serious soap opera. It was almost like Dark Shadow, it was a soap opera, dark, and great promos, and it was just very entertaining. Gary Hart and Percy Pringle and Eric Embry, and it was just something that you gravitated to, man. It was just exciting. Couldn't wait for the next show coming on when it came back on, just to see what transpired the next day, or the next week, really. But yeah, Gary Hart, yeah, he was just a menacing individual, bald head, and bald is beautiful. But he looked at the camera, he was serious. There was no like fluff, so I like the style.
Believed what he said for sure. Johnny's saying, just to cause a stir, Cyrus, Don Callis, put the strap on him. He was an excellent wrestler up here in Canada as the Natural for a number of years in the 80s and 90s. Do you have any memories of working with Cyrus?
Only in regards to the promo. What's funny? He never talked to us. He never talked to us. And again, fuck it. It's not like I'm knocking him. It's just that I just know he gravitated to like Taz, and he was, I'm not saying he was like bootlicking or something, but I just think he was just going to the people that were more important in the company. And he didn't, dude, he never talked to me ever. He made me come in the locker room, shook my hand, and just kept going forward, but he never had any conversations with me. So I'm not mad or ill will about it. It's just that, but seeing him as a champion, no, and that's not knocking him. It's just I just don't see it.
He's doing good work as a manager of the his organization in AEW. So yeah, definitely a better manager, I would think. Although he was a talented in ring competitor. Here's a couple of names that we won't get into them much, but Psychosis was mentioned. Ray was mentioned. Ray Mysterio had a cup of coffee in ECW, so he really wasn't around that much. Somebody mentioned Dean Malenko, the man of 1,000 holds. He had that run with Eddie Guerrero, won tag gold with Benoit as well. He was part of one of the versions of the Triple Threat, but never got a world title run. Maybe that was to do with the fact that he wasn't there all that long. But what were your thoughts on Dean Malenko? Did you find him, as Kevin Nash would say, a vanilla midget?
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I mean, like I said, he was not charismatic, hell of a worker. He had a lot of skills, but again, I mean, the reason he probably didn't get that run is because he left too soon. And and then in WCW, he was not going to get the heavyweight title. Even Rey Mysterio was not going to get the heavyweight title. He got that title in WWE. You know what I'm saying? So they would not give him the opportunity because of his height. WWE, I mean, he's like ECW. WCW, yeah, I'm not trying to be mean or trying to say they were racist or anything, but they were discriminatory towards shorter people. If he wasn't 6'2", 6'5", 280, 290, they probably would not have looked at you.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's also kind of the way WWF was up until I don't know, maybe recent years. There used to be that ceiling where WWF you had to be at least 6'2", and you were considered a cruiserweight if you're under 240. Now things have definitely changed, but height was definitely a factor in I'd say both of those companies for a long time.
No, I agree, and WWE, WWF was known for that, but then I guess they just opened their eyes, Yeah, WCW took them, and the cruiserweight division was ridiculously, but they will never have to put the strap on any of those individuals. Like I said, they came up with the cruiserweight and they would have stuck them there, and that's it. Mm-hmm. So, and WWE ran with it after that, and then now anybody can be heavyweight champion now.
True. Last but not least, a fan favorite, to say the least.
Thank you.
Acers is talking about it. New Jack, a man you know very well, man, an icon. So many things to talk about what he meant to ECW. He was a fan favorite, even when he was positioned as a heel. Recently online, somebody found a great match that I wanted to ask you about.
Thank you.
Where you took an ass whooping in this one for sure. Where the Baldies faced New Jack. I posted that. Before we get into your thoughts about New Jack as world champ, why that never happened. What are your memories of that match? It was a 3-on-1 affair.
I don't know which match you're referring to. We wrestled a lot. Do you have
there was one that was on television that was recently. Somebody posted it and I reposted it. It was quite an affair where you took the lead in dishing out the punishment. Does that ring a bell?
That's every match, but no. But regardless, regardless, Jack was great, man. I love Jack to death. Now, nothing but great thoughts and great things to say about him. Of course, other people might not, but would he deserve the heavyweight title? It's kind of hard to say because he was not. I couldn't see him getting the heavyweight title because of the way his matches were, and I can't, and I just don't see it. Now think about it. If they would have done just like what they did with Taz, the FTW title, the King of the Streets title and all this stuff, almost like a hardcore title match. Yeah, absolutely. I could see that happening. I'm not saying he was not heavyweight title material. It's just that they had him in a certain spot where I cannot see every week on pay-per-view not every week, but every pay-per-view that he's defending the title is going to be like this. They want these, 5-star matches, hip toss, arm drag. Yeah, maybe a little bit junk here and there, but I'm not saying he couldn't wrestle. I'm just saying that they just put him in a position where I don't think they thought that was not say marketable, but just not something that you could see him as heavyweight champion to be the flagship of the company. Put it that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would have been nice if he would have got a token run, though, similar
Don't
to
call us tokens. We don't like to be called tokens.
Okay, a brief run with the world title, similar to Piper with that Intercontinental title in WWF. I think that would have been possible, but he certainly didn't fit the mode as a classic champion. I'm going to throw a curveball at you though now. Out of the existing original ECW world champions, who was your favorite? Who do you think best personified that role and carried the belt
in ECW as a champion?
Yep.
Shit, it's kind of hard to say. Anybody before me or
the whole history of the company except WWE, ECW?
Terry Funk.
That's a good choice.
That's my choice.
Yeah,
so I have to pick Terry Funk.
He made the company for sure, and definitely, ranks up there. I'm kind of biased towards the franchise. I thought Shane.
Yeah, he was great, but it's just that it just jumps out at me as Terry Funk.
I still don't understand how they took the franchise character from ECW and turned him into Dean fucking Douglas and made him a joke in WWF. Shane's got a podcast up and running again, and he talked in detail about the Shane Douglas experience, and it sounds like it was strictly a case of politics. You have another title. Go ahead, show it.
Oh man, brother, this is the King of the Streets heavyweight title.
Upside down.
No shit, Sherlock, man. You just told me to show it.
There you go.
There we go. It's a little bit better. Got to have a little comedy in here. I had to make something
nice.
up. Yeah, I know, bro, because I'm wearing it. I sleep with it. I rub my dick on it.
Well, you've got you're collecting belts, as you know. I have your.
I collect belts like you collect herpes, brother.
Well, obviously, but I still have your Hardcore Road Trip heavyweight title. And guess what, fans? If you are anywhere near Ithaca, New York on March the 21st, just 7 days away, come out and see the Kingpin. You'll be able to get your picture taken with him and the title. And not to mention, again, this limited, beautiful 8x10 commemorating Kingpin's last great run. That'll all be there.
And it's funny. I was talking about the Bison Burger. We're not even going to be in that building.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
It dawned on me at the end. I'm like, wait a minute, I can't get no bison. I mean, I'm not taking no special road trip for a burger. That's a tasty burger.
They're definitely worth the trip, and we'll definitely get one next time we're in the beautiful Mud Creek Bison Ranch. But on Saturday, we're talking the Hangar Theater in Ithaca, New York. And again, fans, this is going to be a loaded show. It's stacked. Get your tickets now at flexwrestling.com. And you're going to want to see this match between Angel and HC Loke against big Indigenous player and a mystery opponent. I know this is Kingpin's psychology, his that chess aspect, that mental chess, where he's downplaying the opposition, but I know he's taking it seriously. You're in training every time I talk to you. You're doing jiu-jitsu. You're going to be ready for this war, aren't you?
No, absolutely, man. I always got to stay active. Even if I retire, I am not going to stop doing what I'm doing, because I said once one door closes, another door opens. And again, you're still going to see me. I'm still going to be on podcasts. I'm going to be making public appearances. Maybe a wrestling match here and there in 1,000 Blue Moons. Shit, Carino just came out of retirement. Fucking wrestling. I'm like, what the fuck? That motherfucker he always retires. I'm retiring and stuff. But yeah, man, like I said, this is going to be a great match, especially tagging with Loke. I mean, now he's going to be carrying me, man, because he's been on fire, bro. He wrestles more than I do, and the guy has just been on point. I know I give him a lot of shit, but that's just our friendship. But I'm proud to be his tag team partner. I'm proud to be in the ring with him. I got nothing for love for him, and I always got his back. And this is the reason why I'm coming in that ring, with like a blaze of fire, bro. I mean, so Tom Sawyer, I'm gonna put you on that raft, push you down that river, bro, and just back to your indigenous land of the Sakakak tribe, and I just feel bad for you. But like I said, I'm not sleeping on you. But before we go, because I know we gotta leave, I want to say, a friend of mine's in the hospital in Kansas City. He just had heart surgery, replacing a valve in his heart. He's a referee that used to be in the local area. Good friend of mine, Ren. Wish him the best of healing. And I'm supposed to go up there, but he's still sedated, so I don't want to make an appearance. And he's still in out cold. When people like, hey, was Johnny here? I swear to God, I thought I saw him, because you're like kind of like hazy, the John Cena syndrome. You can't see me.
Yeah. Yes.
So I want to go when he's fully awake. So since I'm not going to go this weekend today, and I'm not going to go next weekend because I'll be on the road, the following weekend after that, I'll probably head up there and see how he's doing and making sure he's okay. But again, I just wanted to give a shout out to him because he's a good friend of mine, and he needs those well wishes, man. But he's gonna pull out. He's gonna pull out of it. He's got to kick out. Stuff like that. It's funny. Somebody posted online that he was like, he's on life support, and I'm like, motherfucker ain't on life support. They just have him sedated because he's, they want you out cold so you get your heart could heal, and motherfucker on his deathbed and shit. So I was just like, God damn, But he's doing okay, man. He's getting better.
Well, get well soon. And fans, I want to thank you for not only providing the topic for today, it was a great one, but for all your input, be it online here or when you send it in. It's what makes the show. We appreciate your feedback. And yes, I was wondering when that was going to happen. But we've come to the end of another edition of Ringside Riffs. We'll come back after the big show next weekend, and we'll talk about, no doubt, Angel, your victory with HC Loke and what lies next on your last great run of 2026. Until then, fans, I'm Jack Kilby, and we will see you at the matches. Thank you for watching this video. Please give it a like if you enjoyed it. Be sure to follow us on all social media platforms at Cheap Heat Productions. Don't forget to hit the notification button, and you won't miss any of our upcoming interviews, recurring programs, or entertainment products.